So the recording has started now. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this session, Succeed as a Business Analyst. So this session will cover the discipline and profession of IT business analysis. This session will also cover and address your unique background, how you can leverage your unique background to take up the business analyst role in shortest possible time, and preserving your experience and preserving your current salary. This session will also focus on the discipline and profession of business analysis. So we focus on business analysis essentials. We focus on how do you succeed individually, and we focus on what are the tools, techniques, methods, etc. in this profession, and basically how you make this transition. So welcome everyone. Just send me a okay or hello either on chat or Q&A that my voice is audible to you. And time to time, what you can do, you can just send me a thumbs up or okay so that I am reassured that my voice is reaching you. I will stop time to time and I will address your questions. This is my method. While I do that, even as and when you feel like, you can write your questions in the chat or in the Q&A. I will address them at the opportune moment. So we start now, and we start with succeed as a business analyst. Some of you know me, some of you do not. I am a practicing consultant and a practicing business analyst in this field for last 20 plus years. I have worked in India, in Japan, and in many other geographies as a business analyst, as a product manager, and as an implementation consultant. I have worked with companies including HCL Pero Systems, FA Entity Data Systems, and I have provided my consulting to companies like Reliance Geoinfo Systems, training to companies like Market, etc., IHS Market, which is now an S&P company. With this small background, I move ahead, and I will also share my LinkedIn profile to each of you in the Q&A or in the chat so that you can visit that. Let's move on to agenda. This is what we cover today. Fundamentals of business analysis. Fundamentals of IT business analysis. How do you switch to a business analyst role? How do you prosper as a business analyst? Q&A and open career session. So this is an umbrella session or an overview session. And even this session, with your unique experience and your unique background, will give you a good overview and a good understanding of what this profession is all about. And as you can see, we will start with what is business analysis, what is IT business analysis. We move on to an overview of waterfall and Scrum, tools, techniques, and outputs, important software. How can you get into this role? What is the career path, salary, etc. And I welcome your questions as and when you have one. So let us start with fundamentals of business analysis. So focus on these two words, business and analysis. And you are the business analyst who is conducting business analysis. And business analyst is something like a role. Don't treat it as a title. You can be a person with a title of senior vice president with 20 years of experience. You may be in charge of a business analysis competency. You may be a person with 0, 1, or 2 years of experience having the title that of a junior business analyst. But both these individuals with their capacity and with their experience are conducting business analysis. We may expect that someone who is senior, someone who is at a higher level, may be conducting this role of business analysis at a scale with a much larger impact. So we will focus on these words, impact, problem, solution, etc. as we move ahead. So what is business? Business is defined as the work to be done or matter to be attended. So companies have some businesses to deliver, some tasks or activities to be taken up. Businesses are incepted with vision and mission. To achieve this vision and mission, businesses must carry out innumerable activities. Think of a telecom company. A telecom company has to sign up for new subscribers. A telecom company has to make available the network. A telecom company has to make available the connectivity and data. Then they have to provide you a good call quality. In addition, at the end of your billing period, they have to provide you a bill. They have to basically provide a mechanism where you can pay that bill and so many other numerous activities. An insurance company similarly has to sell the policy, has to service the policy, has to validate the claim, has to provide you a billing cycle, and so many other things. Get into a contract with the insured. So businesses have goals. To achieve these goals, to achieve the vision and mission, innumerable activities are carried out. So this is what a business is. Think of a company where you have worked. Think of n number of activities which they take up on daily basis. Think that some of these activities can be improved. Some of these activities can be completed in lesser time. Think some of these activities can be completed with better customer experience. This is what all analysis is all about. Analysis is detailed examination of the elements or structure of something. So we get into the components. We separate and we see things what is under the hood and check into the components. We can say, for example, for a business process, that of a ticket booking process, these components or steps could be login, itinerary selection, train selection, passenger details, payment, ticket confirmation, and ticket printing. So this is one main process. So as an analyst, you can focus on one process at a time. You can focus on a project. So when you focus on one process at a time, your focus is on process improvement. Your focus is on process design. When you focus on the whole project, your focus is on basically project timelines, project deliverables and all. So there are multiple views through which you can analyze. So these views are at the process level, at the project level, at the enterprise level, and at the industry level. But for now, just see that analysis is about insights, something which is not commonly visible. Analysis is about improvements, improvements in cost, quality, service, speed, warmth or customer experience, brand. This is analysis. Analysis is about finding viable economic, technical, cultural, and legal solutions to business problems. So we need to find a solution, and that solution has to be viable, economically viable, legally viable, technically viable, culturally acceptable. So you can remember this acronym. One business analysis technique which you can apply, which is PESTEL: political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental. So as a business analyst, you will focus on business or business processes. You will focus where there is a opportunity where it can be improved, or where there are business problems which need to be articulated, which need to be defined, and which need to be solved. And then you will apply your method, your toolkit, or your experience to come up with it. Whenever you do that, you are never alone. You are part of a team. So now we have focused on business, and now also we have focused on analysis. So far we have covered what is business analysis and what is your role. Have a look at this. If you look at this picture, this has been my regular commute across several years when I was working as a business analyst and a product implementer in the city of Tokyo, Japan. This is a typical Monday or Tuesday morning 8 a.m. site at their metros for their metro stations. Japanese trains run on time. They have to because Japanese people are a stickler for time. They are almost everyone is so quite punctual. Why am I sharing this picture to you? This picture, if you, for those who have traveled there, for those who have lived there, they know there is a business problem lurking here. There is a challenge. You see, for trains to move on time, the compartments have to close because the design is such that if the compartment doesn't close properly, the train will not move ahead. If the train does not move ahead, it will get late. If it gets late, so many trains can get late and so many people can get late. And the pride of punctuality is such if the trains are running late on a given day, when you get out of the exit gate, the you are given a slip that look, the train was running late by 2 minutes today. That's why, so say Mr. Tanaka or Tanaka-san, who is late by 2 minutes, whether or not someone asks at his reception or desk of his office, he will submit this slip that look, I am a person who runs or who commutes properly, but today since the train was running late by 2 minutes, I am late today. This is what their self-respect is. Now, for this situation where the compartments are overcrowded, the platform is overcrowded, the trains, the gates, if the gates do not close properly, the train will not move ahead. As an analyst, we need to think of some solution. This is a business problem. We saw, and mind you, businesses have numerous problems. So as an analyst, we solve those articulated problems for which our stakeholders have a consensus that these problems are to be solved and they are to be solved now. So there is an element of time, there is an element of problem articulation that the problem is well defined, and of course you have to define the problem, and then there is a stakeholder consensus that this problem has to be solved and solved now. Now we have this small audience. For this audience, if we are to act as analysts, and mind you that business analysis activity is not done in isolation. So you will always be part of the team. Of course, because this is your role, so you have to do the heavy lifting. So tell me what comes to your mind, what could be the solution? One by one, I will ask each of you, and we are basically utilizing a technique, business analysis technique. I will explain that technique to you later. So we go one by one. So Mr. Abdul, if you can tell what comes to your mind if we are to solve this problem.
But we can add more trains.
Perfect. So if we add more trains, and if the frequency of trains is more, the carrying capacity increases. So I appreciate your mm, uh, advice.
Thank you.
Manoj, what is your input? I will come to you. You have not spoken earlier, so I'm not sure if your mic is working. If you wish, you can speak. Mr. Samir?
Add more capacity, add more, seats, like by increasing the number of carriers.
Number of carriers, yes, you are also right. So now
Like
two,
rather
three
than
things.
increasing the number of trains, just maybe if it's a 10, car train, it make it 12 or 15.
Okay, this is also fine. Now I can tell you. Whenever there are problems, there is this technique called brainstorming. We come up with multiple options, and there is this team of 5, 7 people who are brainstorming, who are basically coming up with options or solutions. No solution is shot down right away. It is not that you came up with a solution and I immediately blurred out the shortcoming in your solution. What we do, we basically come up with the solutions, howsoever creative they can be. Even they could basically look, to start with, they could look impractical, they could look slightly off the mark, but doesn't matter. We identify the solutions, we park them. Then we reduce some of the solutions which we think are difficult to implement. Then what we do, we shortlist, we park, we reduce or eliminate, then we shortlist, and then we refine and filter some of the solutions which are beneficial to our situation. Every situation, every company, every geography is unique. And our solution has to be true to PESTEL: political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental. So let's see how they have implemented it there. Good that both of you have participated. What was the solution which they implemented? This is how they have implemented. See here. So what they did, they have recruited official pushers. So these pushers push the people inside, and as they push people inside, the compartments are able to close. Now again, no clear right or wrong. What could be correct here may be infeasible to implement in some other geography. So business analyst will work on problems, identified well-articulated problems for which stakeholders have a consensus. And then we come up with the solution. So this is business analysis. And analysis is about insights, about, you see, coming up with things which basically lead to cost improvements in cost, quality, time, service, customer experience, etc., etc. Now we move on to what is IT business analysis. So far you have learned two techniques also, PESTEL and brainstorming. Now what is IT business analysis? Because our context is basically a person who is an IT business analyst or an IT consultant or an IT product owner or product manager. Today, almost every solution has got some intervention or facilitation of IT. IT has become integral part of the business value chain. So IT has become something which has become very integral to business value. Almost at every step, IT is being utilized. Without IT, businesses are just incapable of doing anything. Even a traditional restaurant, if you visit there, they may be using, say, digital kiosks to order, and so many other facilities. So who is an IT business analyst? IT business analysts are business analysts who work on new software development projects, who work on software customization projects. So new software development is basically bringing the software from ground up. Customization is basically the software is already there. Maybe we are doing some programming, some customization. Package implementation. A business analyst implementing Finacle, say for example, Finacle banking suite at a bank. So the package or the product is already there. This product is being implemented, let us say, at a new client. And while we implement, again, we require business analyst. New software and vendor selection. So we may be thinking that IT business analysts are working only with IT companies. In addition to IT companies, business analysts also work with client organizations, because at client organizations, they are the ones who will be communicating with the IT companies. They are the ones who will have, you see, better subject matter expertise. And they will also, among other activities, they will also help their employer of which IT company or IT vendor to engage with. There are so many activities, but this is one of them. So now for business analysis, remember, there is a problem, there is a goal, there is a requirement. We have to come up with a solution. The solution should be true to the PESTEL criteria. That is basically we can implement it with benefits. So, and we solve those problems which are well articulated, for which stakeholders have a consensus that they need to be solved. With respect to an IT project, our job will be to achieve the goals or solve the problems via software intervention or intervention of IT. And this could be new software development, software customization, package implementation, or new software or vendor selection. Now, let us learn business analysis with some examples. I will give you a little old example. I will give you a little new example, but the crux or essence remains the same, and the business analysis activity is also some activity which never stops. Somewhere in 1997, Amazon obtained a patent from US Patents Office. This patent allowed Amazon to earn something like $1.5 billion over a period of next 20 years when the patent was in force. Now, what was this patent? It was a very simple patent. At that point of time, now this is no-brainer, that while you create your profile on the Amazon portal, you also save the card number and you also save your address. So in a single click, when you click on the buy button, you can complete your purchase. And that was the time when there is no OTP, no, you see, two-factor authentication, etc., etc. Honest times, less risk. Now, other companies followed the very same process. But since Amazon has got a patent, Amazon enforced its patent and earned $1.5 billion over a period of next something like 17 years. The patent life in US is 20 years. You can read. When Amazon first patented one-click e-commerce was in its formative years, and Amazon was primarily an online bookseller. In late 1999, it sued Barnes and Noble alleging patent infringement of one-click method. The lawsuit was settled in 2002, but Apple began licensing the technology in 2000 for use on its website iTunes platform. So a single or a small activity of business analysis where a business analyst has suggested why don't we save the address and why don't we save the card number to the database. Now, today in 2025, you may think of this as very trivial. And in many countries, say for example, like in India, we do not have process patents. We only have product patents. But in US, process patents are allowed. So Amazon has earned no less than $1.5 billion on this patent. Another example of business analysis. Now, this is what we call as impactful business analysis. A small business analysis activity, but impact is so much that Amazon has been able to earn $1.5 billion out of royalty. Another example, somewhere in 2008. So from 1997, I am taking you to 2008, 2010. In India, if you were to take a new mobile number subscription, you have to go to a vendor. You have to fill out a form, provide your identity, provide a fee, something like 150 to 200 rupees. By the end of the day, all these forms will be taken to a verification center where they will be verified. If there is some negative verification, some problem in the form, it will reach you next day and you repeat the process. Then there will be some online verification and some to identify that you are the person, you are the one who has furnished a true identity. In 36 to 50 hours, your SIM will get activated. What happens today? Basis biometric authentication in what we call as the Aadhaar stack. We provide the identity, we provide the authentication, we pay the SIM, and the plan is activated in 30 minutes. Why am I calling this as impactful IT business analysis? This has got impact because this is impacting no less than 50 crore individuals, 5 billion people. No, not 5 billion, 0.5 billion. So billion is something like 100 crores. So this is impactful business analysis. And what is the benefit? That cost, quality, service, and speed, at all the parameters we have improvements. And remember, A business analyst has his role to play. Now, he is not providing the technology stack. He has not prepared the technology architecture. His role is basically to focus on the processes. His role is to focus on the goals and requirements. Someone else will focus on the structure. He is controlling the controlling or designing the behavior and the process of the software. Someone else will work on the structure of the software. Yet another example, very simple example. I call this technique as Appify. Now, it may not have that impact, but what you see here is a small screen on mobile phone, a small app which has only one or two screens. One such screen is name, email, and sign up. Yet another screen is basically the password. I will tell you the functionality, and I call this a small nano app, and technique as Appify an app as a nano app with only 1-2 pages. If you connect with me on WhatsApp, I may ask for your name and email ID. If I submit this name and email ID on my mobile app, it goes to my email marketing database. Now, if I wish, I can trigger emails to you as per my rule. So what is this interface like? A new form factor and a new interface is allowing me to basically immediately submit the inquiry via a mobile phone. This is again a requirement or a goal which has to be accomplished. And for this goal, the email marketing company has addressed the requirement in this manner. And this is unlike you see mega apps which you have seen, an app like Amazon, app like say Zomato in India or Uber Eats outside of India. So what is the difference like? So this is a very small app compared to mega apps which you have seen. So as a business analyst, sometimes you have to solve some small problems, come up with different solutions. Sometimes you may be part of mega projects. You may think, if the project is over, what am I going to do as a business analyst? Please understand, IT business analysis is a never ending activity because the environment is changing. As environment changes, the technical, strategic, commercial, legislative, regulatory, and security requirements change. As they change, our customers ask for new goals. We provide them better ways. So, say for example, a new way of marking attendance. The office where our institute is located, until 2019, we were marking attendance using a biometric machine. After 2020, we moved on to a facial recognition system. Why? You obvious, no one wanted to basically mark his attendance using a fingerprint because it was perceived to be something which was less hygienic. So, IT business analysis activities will be there on your current project or on new projects. Your focus will be on problems, your focus will be on solutions, your focus will be on goals, your focus will be on requirements. So problem, requirement, solution, an articulated problem, etc., is what your job is. So till now, we have covered what is business analysis and what is IT business analysis. Now I will stop for a while. If you have any questions, you can ask. And I will also check the Q&A and the chat. So, and the chat. Okay. So anyone, any question? So shall I move ahead? Just send me a go ahead.
Vijay, just a little bit of, I'm trying to understand my previous experience with the, shifting to business analyst. Like, what are the prerequisites for a business analyst to have, to excel as a business analyst? Like, to be a good, maybe from the developer side or the, project management side. Like, what is the prerequisite to be a good business analyst?
You see, I will address this in detail as we move forward. The
Mm-hmm.
prerequisite business analyst is a multidisciplinary field. So you could be someone who has got very good communication skills. You are welcome. You could be someone who has got, you see, good technical skills. You are welcome. You could be someone who has worked in a business domain for, let us say, 5, 6 years. You are welcome. So you need to
Okay.
leverage your last 25, 30 years. If you, for example, in the afternoon, I was talking to a girl who was referred to me by my earlier student who is so successful. Now, this girl is very good. She's from a non-technical background. She has done her post-graduation in history, but she is a trained drone pilot, and she is very good in video editing and sketching. So as
Okay.
we will move forward, I will tell you how even a person who is having a very different background
A
can fit into this
non-IT
role.
background.
Non-IT can fit in, and IT person can fit in, but we need to wait for the same. And you need to come up with what is your good skill which
Mm-hmm.
you possess. What is that extra thing which you possess that I can tell you whether it is a transferable skill or not.
Okay.
So people with good communication skills, welcome. People with good IT skills, welcome. People with good domain skills, welcome. Freshers who are weak in either of the three, they are also welcome because time is on their side and
Okay.
expectations will be less.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I am able to, you see, put some message, but you need to wait for a time when I address this thing as to how you can transition to the business analyst role. By the way,
Okay.
what is your background like?
I'm from the project management side. Okay. So
Project
I have been
management,
mostly involved.
I,
Yeah, I'm mostly
IT,
involved
IT,
into the yes. I've been mostly involved into the PMO as a IT project coordinator as well as IT project manager.
cool,
So
cool. So you have all what it takes. You are already swimming in the same ocean.
yes, but still, I'm still trying to figure out make a transition into business
Okay, okay.
analyst as well. So
You will be
yeah.
able to. You will be
Okay.
able to.
Right.
So a business analyst conducts and completes the requirements process on the project. So now we are basically moving on to the IT project. What happens on an IT project? So the broad goals of the project are already finalized when the contract happens. Now the business analyst has to basically come up with detailed requirements, requirement documents. He has to develop the requirements talking to the stakeholders and the client. But before we get into those outputs, let us focus on what actually happens on an IT project. On an IT project, there are these phases. Analysis is about requirements or goals or behavior. Design is about the structure of the software. Development is basically basis analysis and design inputs. The development team develops the software. The software has to be tested. This is done by the testing team. Implementation is installation of software and configuring it fit for use. So implementation activity has got some overlap with business analysis activity. Implementation is installation, configuration, demonstration, training, hand-holding, test run, parallel run, and live run. Analysis is the domain of the business analyst. Design is the domain of the software designer. Development is the domain of the project manager or the delivery manager. Testing is led by test manager. And then for implementation, we have implementation managers, implementation consultants, etc. The earlier model of software development was waterfall method, in which analysis, design, development, testing, and implementation used to happen only once. And we used to deliver one big bullet final release where the client will be delivered the whole software. We do not deliver software in this manner these days. We build the software iteratively. So this is what is known as the Agile or the Scrum method. On our program, we learn Agile Scrum method in detail. And these are very interesting lectures because as much as 40% of interview questions are asked from my lectures on Scrum. Because in any case, whether you are a business analyst or a product owner, or whether you are, whatever your role is on the project, you have to understand the framework. The concept of Scrum is simple, that you build and deliver iteratively and you adapt. We will not focus on this vocabulary which is provided here. Say, for example, mm, daily sprint review, sprint retrospective, sprint planning, etc., etc. Our focus is to understand the concept of Scrum right now. So what we do, we deliver in iterations. So what happens when we deliver in iterations? There is early return on investment. Please see, let us say there is a software which has functionality like employee database, attendance, leave, and payroll. And I give you a simple project. On a waterfall method or the traditional method, we would have completed the whole project, taken the requirements from the client, completed the whole project, and then implemented it in one go. Utilizing Scrum, which is iterative, we can deliver employee database first in one iteration, add the attendance functionality, then add the leave functionality in yet another iteration, and then add the payroll functionality. You can see this is the efficient method also as how we are delivering. And not only it is efficient, it promises early ROI. It is adaptive because the client can provide the feedback and we can adjust to the feedback. This is transparent progress also, and client can inspect the progress. So transparency, inspection, and adaptation are three tenets of Agile. I believe now you can justify why this is transparent development, why there is inspection. So inspection happens after every iteration, which is basically the sprint review ceremony. Don't worry about some of the words if you do not understand. And then adaptation is we adapt to the client feedback. So these are two important frameworks, Waterfall and Scrum. Typically, you will be working on the Scrum framework as a person who is part of a team. Your role will focus on requirements. You have to elicit requirements, you have to document requirements, and by the way, requirements on an agile project are known as user stories, but that we leave to the lecture. Now, what are your activities as a business analyst? This is a very important slide because you need to understand what your activities are. So these are your main activities: requirements, implementation, quick testing of releases or quick testing of deliveries, client account management, new process design, advisory, and consulting. I will focus on each of these areas one by one. So requirements. You see, while the contract happens, broad goals of the project are identified. So say, for example, here the goals are identified that the project is all about employee database, attendance, leave, and payroll. But when you will work as a business analyst, now you need to come up with detailed requirements on each of these modules. Say, for example, what are going to be requirements for the employee DB module? What are going to be the requirements for the attendance module? Whether attendance has to be marked via a biometric scan, or whether every employee will be provided a RFID card, or whether every employee will be scanned via his retina for marking the attendance. Whether there is going to be a single shift, or whether this factory or this operations are to run in 3 shifts. How are we going to implement the holidays? So what is going to be the weekly off? So now all this detailed requirement is part of the business analyst role on an IT project. So you will be eliciting the requirements, developing the requirements, refining the requirements, documenting them, etc., etc. I will share with you all these requirement related outputs shortly. And of course, you will be needing a specialist software for these requirements. So say, for example, for requirements documentation, you will use MS Word. For modeling requirements, you will use MS Visio. For visualizing requirements, you will use a software like Balsamiq. And for tracking the requirements, you will use a software like Jira. Then implementation. Implementation, as I have told you, involves installation, configuration, demonstration, training, handholding, new user onboarding, test run, parallel run, live run, etc. A business analyst can double up as an implementer, more so if he is located at the client site. Quick testing of releases. Now you know we are delivering the software in multiple iterations. After every delivery, we test this deliverable and then we hand this over to the client. So testing team has already tested it. Client has done the UAT, but even before it is handed over to the client in a formal manner so that it is ready for client to put it in the production or live environment, we do the testing again as a business analyst. Client account management. So client account management is the realm or domain of a senior business analyst or a senior consultant. You may be working with a client for last several years. This client is running multiple projects for our company. Now, every project may have its own timelines, goals, billing, etc., etc. As a person who is now a relatively senior, you can be a client account manager. As a client account manager, you have the nerve and pulse of the account. You know the timelines. You know what could be the new businesses which could come up. So this is the client account management activity. So you focus, you are an advisor to the client, you know what the business requirements of the client are and how we can address it through new projects. And you also keep the nerve pulse of the current projects or ongoing projects, etc., etc. New process design. Sometimes we have to act as, you see, business process analysts, business process designers. Or sometimes you have to junk the old processes and come up with entirely new processes. So that is the new process design activity. So here you need to be aware of the business process modeling softwares like say Bizagi Business Process Modeler, etc. Advisory and consulting. Been there, done that for several years in different geographies. If you have done it earlier, if you have some insight, you can become an advisor or a consultant for a given domain. So these are the activities of an IT business analyst. There could be some additional activities also, but these are your main activities. So say, for example, what I have not mentioned here, on my very first job as a business analyst in my initial months, I was given, not only I was a tester to the development team, I was also writing the user manual. So you could add technical writing to this list of activities. You may have to prepare presentations which are to be given to the current clients, and sometimes you may assist your company, IT company, in some pre-sales business analysis activity. Now, what are the main outputs which you produce as a business analyst? Now, these outputs can be classified into these 4 areas: requirement documents, requirement models, requirement visuals, and outputs related to requirement management, project tracking, etc. So for documents, you prepare something like a project charter, a business requirement document, a software requirement specification document, product backlog, user stories, etc. You will need mastery of a software like MS Word. I'll show you a sample requirement document. Just have a look. See, this is a functional requirement document. Page 1 of 98. Functional specification document, mobile food delivery app. All these chapters: introduction, system overview, user roles, user registration, use cases, data requirements. So first thing is that you should have the ability to handle a document like this. See, individual areas for an e-commerce food delivery app, say for example, user profile, user registration and profile management, goals, restaurant and menu listing. So our project is e-commerce food delivery app for the which you are seeing the document. So this documentation has to be done by you. Major modules, goals, and then for each of the modules and goals, you are writing user stories. And these user stories, which are goals, they will be taken up by the development team for development. This is not the only output. If you see in this document, not only there is this documentation for various areas, I will show you some other areas also. Say for example, non-functional requirements. What will be the launch time of the app? How much seconds the order confirmation will happen? What is the reliability and uptime? This is also your battery efficacy. All these requirements will be written by you. Some of the requirements, basically functional requirements, which are user goals, you are the owner. For some other requirements, you have to consult other people in the technical team. And of course, the client. Mind you, you are the person who will do the heavy lifting, who is capable of completing this 70-80% of this document. You will compile the full document, but others will help you in this. And not only you prepare, write these requirements, you also prepare, say for example, these user interfaces. These do not require any programming skill, just a drag and drop. So these user interfaces are required. And these are what we call as the requirement visuals, how the software is going to look like. So much of the requirements can be discussed with the client when he sees the user interface. Then there are requirement models. I will show you the requirements models also. These are the models, flowcharts, BPM models, etc., which basically tell us how the process proceeds and how some key processes are completed. So you prepare visuals, you prepare models, you do the documentation, and you combine or compile all this documentation in form of various documents. One such key document is a functional requirement document, which you are seeing here, and which is having, you see, multiple outputs. So then these are requirement models. I'll show you a requirement model and I'll show you the software also. By the way, Microsoft calls me trainer extraordinaire in Visio. See here. I'll show it to you from your file, new, templates. Now you need to know where you need to go for say for example, a business process model. So I know it is in the flowchart category, a BPMN diagram. Now to prepare a diagram like this, you need three things. This is a BPM diagram. I'm showing you the visual. Once you see the visual, you will. Now you need three things to prepare a diagram like this. You need to be aware of the process steps or business process steps. You need to have access and ability to handle a software like Visio. And third thing is that you need to be aware of a process modeling framework like BPMN. We cover BPMN framework in detail. We cover unified modeling language framework, which is used in use cases and so many other models. And we also cover Scrum is also one framework, which is an overall project management framework or project development framework. But these are basically modeling frameworks. All what you need to do, start with you. If you know how to prepare a diagram, just Just what you need to do is
What is the abbreviation of BPMN, Vijay?
business process model and notation.
Business Process Model Notation.
Very, very popular these days. You can see these shapes are slightly different than a typical flowchart shape. So if you know Visio and if you know BPMN, you can prepare a BPM model. That's it. As easy or as difficult as driving a car. If you know it, you can do it right away. If you don't do it, you will fumble. So we cover BPMN also in detail. And what you see here is just the start of the activity. There are so many details which are available, which we will, when we will learn with BPMN and when we will learn with you, I'll show that to you. Say, for example, see here, gateway type. This gateway means something. This gateway means something else. This gateway means something else. And all this denotes something. Similarly, if you see here, this task step means something. A manual process and an automated process or a script process. So when we get into this detail, BPM in itself is a carrier. And so many digital transformation projects are utilizing this framework or this method. So now you can see, coming back to this place, requirement models, requirement visuals, documents, models, visuals, and management. For visuals, we use Balsamiq. Balsamiq is the popular software. Those who will join the program, I will provide you access to Balsamiq also. As easy as this. See here, a plus sign for the, as easy as this. Say I write iPhone, double click, I bring it here, say icon, icon and text level. See here, Control D for duplicate, Control D for duplicate, Control G for group, Control D for duplicate. So this is how we start. See here, so all this, if you can see, all this is all drag and drop, nothing else. Just find out. And it doesn't require a programmer's mind. It requires someone who is, you see, who is good in sketching, who is good in visualization, or who has just done some practice. Hard work will beat everyone else. So this is what we call as requirement visuals of wireframes. Then as the project will progress, we need to track the progress of the project. All that is done through deliverables in a software like Microsoft TFS Azure or Jira. Jira is the popular software. We learn Jira. So we learn Word we learn, Visio we learn, Balsamic we learn, Jira, and we learn 4 other softwares.
Is Balsamic available to free to download or use, or does it need
Uh,
any paid subscription?
Balsamic is a paid software. They charge something like $12 per month or $150 at a time. Access of Balsamic is available to my students. And all what we work here is all licensed and all legal.
So, will you be giving us an access to use this application?
Yes, yes, if you join my
Okay,
program.
all right.
So how do you switch to a business analyst role? I think this is what you have asked, Samir. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And whether you are suited for this role or not. How can
Yes.
how you can leverage your current background? So it is as easy.
IT or non-IT, how can someone leverage to this one?
Yes, yes. I will tell you. It is as easy as 1, 2, 3, 4. Understand the 3 key skills of a business analyst. Master 6 key software. Identify your starting point. Fill the skill gap and join the party. Let's see. So there are 3 key skills: IT business analyst core skills, domain skills, and soft skills. IT business analyst core skills, requirements engineering and management. I have provided you a flavor of requirements activity. Modeling and visualization. I have provided you a flavor for that also. SQL and RDBMS. This is also an important area because you see, while we work with an IT project, all the data is being stored in a database. Most of these business databases are relational databases for which SQL is the programming language. So we learn SQL also, and we learn Oracle SQL in the project, and I will provide you lifetime access on a portal where you can practice. Appreciation of technology and technical environment, systems thinking, software project knowledge, SDLC knowledge, knowledge of Agile and Scrum, Visio, Balsamic, Jira, Word, SQL, etc. Our focus is to learn the core skills. Soft skills is something which you may have with you, or you will develop your soft skills while you go through this program. Interviewing, meeting management, verbal and written communication, patience, negotiation, vocabulary, etc. You have already started to learn business analyst vocabulary. A problem, a articulated problem, a problem for which you see stakeholders have a consensus that it has to be solved now. A solution which is true on pastel, a brainstorming. So you are already getting into the business analyst mindset. Leadership, attention to detail. Then yet another area is domain or business skills. If you have more than 5-7 years of experience, it is good to have domain or business skills also. So what is domain skill? Say for example, if you have been a banker earlier, so you have skills in the lending domain, you have skills in the retail banking. I teach you business analyst skills. With these 2 set of skills and with your track record, you are able to immediately transfer. If you are a fresher and if you learn only business analyst skills, that is also good enough. So someone who is already working in IT industry as a project manager or a tester, he is also welcome because he know how projects function. So 3 key skills, 6 key software. In fact, now we deal with 8 software: Visio, Balsamic, Jira, Bizagi Business Process Modeler, Word, SQL, and Power BI. So Power BI, we take it up. We also take it up ChatGPT. So 8 softwares you are going to learn in this program. 3 key skills, 8 key software. Then identify your starting point. If you are weak in all the 3 areas, and if you are a fresher, you are welcome. But if you are not a fresher, then you need to identify your starting point. Now I come to you. So Samir, now you can tell me what is your starting point and what you have been doing for last 25-30 years. Samir, you have asked me the question. Am I correct?
Yes, Vijay.
Yeah. So now you can tell me your background, and now I will tell you how you can leverage that.
Okay, see, my background is a mix of both IT and non-IT. Okay, so but most of my project experience has been handling the project management role that include as a department head, a team lead, as well as a project coordinator,
No,
and
no. Whether it is for IT projects or whether it is for non-IT projects.
it was like non-IT and IT both. I started with the non-IT, then I make a transition into IT.
Okay.
Okay. So my technical knowledge is less in terms of software or IT application. Then I have not been working as any IT core professional. Okay, the developer side or the programming side, but more into the handling of the projects. Some
So
roles.
how do you handle the project as an end user, or you just
E-
or you just focus on the timelines?
Some projects wherein I have been focused on the timelines and some projects as an end user. Yeah.
Okay. So can you give me an example of a project where you have worked upon?
See, previously I worked as a Scrum Master, okay, in a project with Orchid Insurance, okay, wherein I used to run the Scrum calls. And currently I'm working as a IT project coordinator, okay, wherein I have been coordinating with the various projects which are being run under my organization. And we take the weekly status updates and we monitor the timeline.
Okay.
And and
I think
and
as
I also facilitate the change control process for my for my team, for my organization.
okay,
Yes.
till you see, I think you have been working with real clients and real projects. So whether you have worked as a Scrum Master or as a project coordinator, all these are transferable skills. And with this, I think with your background, I think whatever I would have said or explained up to this point, you would have immediately understood. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm able to figure it out where I stand. Yes.
Okay, so I think you are on a good wicket. You will succeed.
Okay. Thank you. Hopefully.
Yeah, yeah. Sumit, you have joined only recently. If you have anything to ask, you are welcome. And you have joined from which city and which country?
Uh, Hi, Vijay.
Welcome.
Hello.
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah. So, industry for BFSI sector for past more than 3 years.
Okay.
Been working with the Indian and international insurance company for the different product. But if I'll emphasize my role, it's a mixture of both product and a BA. But I want to switch into a BA role for as a permanent BA. So due to that, if you could guide on that track, because when it comes for the actual use of the tools, my organization, it's not as such being used.
Okay, so your employer is an insurance company?
No, my employer is an insurance company. Yeah.
Okay, good. So if your employer is an insurance company, whether you are working in the operations department or whether you are working in an IT or a department of the company, I may believe that you may be good on domain skills. Number one. Number two, if even if you are not, your prospective employers will believe that, and you can catch up with those skills. And number two, since you already have the designation or you are already working on IT implementations, with the skills which you will learn here, as I have mentioned, we work on 8 tools, all at the expert level: Visio, Balsamic, Jira, Bezagi Business Process Modeler, Word, SQL, Power BI, and ChatGPT, which is the AI tool, last one. So you will be good in tools, you will be good in frameworks. Your past experience is also valuable because there is good demand for insurance domain business analysts. So whether you wish to continue with insurance companies as a business and full-fledged business analyst, or whether you would wish to move to top tier IT companies like Cognizant or IBM, etc., both the ways it is possible. I think you will be able to make it. What is your location?
I'm currently based out in Mumbai.
Mumbai. Perfect. So Mumbai is the majority of BFSI projects are being run from Mumbai and Pune.
Yes, we are placed in Mumbai. So yeah.
Okay, welcome. Abdul, any question from your side, and also Manoj? Whosoever is interested to speak, you can unmute yourself.
No questions, Vijay. Thank you.
Okay. I hope both of us are in alignment as far as this lecture is concerned. Okay, moving ahead. So all what you need, acquire core business analyst skills, which is this one. I will make you an expert in this area, also good in this area. Domain skills is something which you require optionally and only when you have larger experience. Identify your key starting point. That is it. Once you have the right skills, right CV, and you pitch yourself, the whole world is your playground. You are employable in the United States, you are employable in Japan across the Pacific, you are employable in Singapore, you can move to Australia, you can move to Western Europe or Eastern Europe or Asia Pacific, wherever you wish to. The whole world is your playground, and this is something what is a fact. So how do you prosper as a business analyst? What is your career path? This is a sample career path. Those who have higher experience will join this career midway. They don't have to start at the bottom of the stack. But a typical path will be 0 to 3 years of experience. You will have initial BA skills. You may be new to a business domain, but have to learn fast. You have to report to a senior business analyst or a program manager. So every day, you have to prepare some outputs. Let's say you are modeling some processes for the project or for the client, or maybe you are just preparing wireframes, or maybe you are just writing some user stories, or just testing the software. Junior BA. Business analyst, you will be independent. You are independent in charge to complete the project. You may not be very good on the domain, excellent on the domain, but simple projects, small projects, you are independently handling it. Senior business analyst, good in modeling, good in domain, because 7, 8, 9 years is something. Documentation and modeling is your forte, and you are handling multiple projects. 9 to 14 years of experience, client partner. Client partner is a senior client account manager or an enterprise analyst. Client partner is the trusted partner of the client. You may handle one client, you may handle a geography, and multi-million dollar projects. You are an advisor on multi-million dollar projects. Some people take a more technical role here, which is that of an enterprise analyst. Enterprise analyst role will be more popular if you are basically employed by the client himself. Then 14 to 18 years of experience, competency head. So let's say if you have been working in the lending domain for last 14 years, say in the retail banking domain for last 14 years, property and casualty insurance domain for last 14 years. So you become a competency head for that competency. Something like 18 plus years of experience, you are part of the senior management team. So this is your career roadmap. Even you see individuals like Sundar Pichai were business analysts at some point in their career. So this career doesn't have any ceiling. You can, since this is a client-facing role, you can wear multiple hats and you can seamlessly transition to the C-suite. This is your career roadmap. There are these 6 key industries for the IT business analyst career: travel, banking, finance, securities, insurance, healthcare, and telecom. Travel relatively weak. It is still to catch up after Corona. Banking is evergreen domain. Finance is required. Security is evergreen domain. Two domains are just selling like hotcakes as far as the skills are concerned: payments and insurance. Lot of digital transformation projects are going on in insurance domain in North America and in Japan. In the payments domain, as you could see all over the globe, payments is just the rage. Healthcare is also very popular. Telecom is on the upsurge. So remember, 3 key skills, 6 plus 2, 8 key software, 3 frameworks, UML, BPMN, and Scrum. Then your 4 outputs, requirements documentation, requirements modeling, requirements visuals, and requirements project tracking or requirement tracking, 6, 7 domains. So this is how we just summarize everything. And this is how we will be 2 to 6 there. Just a minute. I think I will show you the program. This is what you are going to join. Approximately 10 weeks is what we will cover. And this is not 32. We will cover it in approximately 40 hours because it will be 10 weeks, 2.5 months. 40 hours of online classes, 56 hours of recorded video sessions, assignments and practicals, 2 full projects. I have given you a glimpse of a project. Resume and interview preparation, professional and social collaboration. You get certified, you receive placement assistance, ongoing placement assistant, and ongoing lectures. So this is what we will cover. And core of business analysis and also data analysis activities like SQL and Power BI. So,
Vijay,
yeah,
when
please
you
tell me.
sorry, if you are done, can I speak to you?
Yes,
Can I
yes,
speak?
please speak. Yeah.
Okay. What about when you say that you'll be providing resume and interview preparation and everything? So here, just I'm on to understand, like, if someone has a career gap, how do we cover up that? You got me? Like, if there is someone has a career gap in between for some reason,
Everyone,
and
you see, you have how many years of a career gap?
maybe 2 years.
2 years. So you see, individually we will discuss. This is
Okay,
something which is very individual to you.
I
I
got it. I know.
I can suggest something, but I think it will be appropriate if we
No,
discuss
I'm
it.
not talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand how to cover up in the on a resume. I was talking in aspect of maybe does it have any impact on the on understanding the business analyst role or something like that?
Not really.
Oh,
You
that's
see,
okay.
let's. I am just making a wild guess. Let us say you are 32 today. At,
Okay,
even if you are having a 2 year gap, of all these 32 years, you see you have life experience, you have work experience, you have you see educational qualification. All these make you a good business analyst. All you need now is basically ability to prepare these outputs. This is the only difference. Moment you are able to prepare the outputs, which some of the samples which I have shown to you, all your past experience and past exposure comes handy to you, and all that is valuable. That's what I can tell you.
what about the placement assistance? What kind of placement assistance support we can expect from you?
Yeah, I have alumni all over the globe, including United States. So I will
Okay.
connect you to those. I am also
Hmm.
connected to, you see, some placement consultants. So
Okay.
moment, you see, I can tell you, moment you have the right skills and moment you have the right resume, there will be no looking back.
I got
All
it.
you need is a good resume. I'll provide you a resume template. You prepare your resume according to that template. I'll provide you the feedback. Moment you have the good resume, your resume will get shortlisted. Moment you have the right
Yes.
vocabulary, right skills, I think US is the place to be in, and business analyst is the role for which you see there are so many opportunities today.
No, why the reason why I asked you is that okay, I was trying to understand like you would be providing assistance in terms of recommending within your ex alumni, or do you have your own clients through which you get some projects?
Both of it, you see,
That was okay.
I do not get projects from USA, but I will connect you to the right network.
I got it. Okay. You will connect us
Yeah.
to them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone
Vijay,
else?
I have
Any
a question.
Yeah, please tell me.
So these recordings, are they going to be available after these trainings also? Like, can we log back
Yes,
after the trainings and then view them as
yes.
needed?
You can view them as needed. Yes, I have a
Okay.
portal, so you will have access to the portal and you can view them as needed. Yes.
So our user accounts going to be created and they're going to be there for a long time, or is it just going to be up to the training session?
I will tell you the method. I provide, while I will create your user account, I will provide you 1 year access to start with. After 1 year, we keep these videos up to date. So if there is something new, we update it. We also provide placement assistance and network assistance and other assistance to the students beyond first year. So you are always part of the network and that support is available to you for life. For the portal to be kept up and running, it is a enterprise level portal. What we charge is a small amount of $10 beyond the first year
Got it.
for the videos, but these videos will get up to date. So if there is a new topic, we will update that new topic. So it is not that what you learned last year will be available there. It will be revised versions of what you would have learned and new topics also.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So we will come back to this slide again, but before that, why so many love this IT business analyst career? This is international career opportunity from day one. Immense continuity. Word, Visio, and SQL are my tools since last 2 decades. So you can't beat me in Word, Visio, or SQL, especially Word and Visio. Microsoft calls me trainer extraordinaire in Visio. I'm a technical reviewer for a book written by one of the top authors in Visio. So you see, it is continuity. Sometimes you see we try to find new challenges in our work. Sometimes we love continuity also. You can build upon your domain knowledge with time. People with less experience cannot match your wisdom and skills. And those who find selling a little difficult, this is not a role which involves hardcore selling. So you can basically monetize or you can leverage upon your yesterday and your past. It is not that every day you have to dig a new well. So a business analyst may have to take up variety of tasks including requirements, software testing, implementation, consultancy, documentation, etc. This is a challenging role, this is a high profile role, and this is a global role. You may be living in New York, but your project is being implemented globally. The rollout is global. Requirements engineering and management is a key business analyst activity. So you see, as a business analyst, requirements, or as an IT business analyst, requirements is your key focus. Business analysts are leaders who work under the glare. So all the arc light will be on you. The spotlight will be on you. The client will look up to you. The senior management will talk to you. So be ready for that. So you have to be a master communicator. You have to be an optimist. You have to be someone who has to meet the high expectations, but the rewards are equal. So this is how we complete the program. I take you back to this slide. And next week, starting upcoming Saturday, we start the program. Same time, oh, not, I have shown you. This is your slide because my Indian students are taking up that project. So this is your time. This is your activity.
Vijay, one short thing how much like in detail will you be taking us through this 5 or 6 or 7 applications you're talking about Visio, SQL,
Advanced, you see, I'll tell you, Visio, advanced level. Microsoft
advanced
Word, advanced level. Balsamic, advanced level. Now, SQL up to the level which is expected from a business analyst, because SQL
Run
is
the queries, to run the queries
more
or
of a
to,
programmer's kit. Jira as is, so you will not work as a Jira administrator, but you will work as a Jira end user. So
end user.
whatever is expected from a business analyst, I will provide you training and learning much more than that.
Okay.
So this is how we take it. And now the session is open to questions.
Can someone join who has not attended this demo session? Can they start from
Welcome,
next
most
class?
welcome.
Okay.
I will, they can join, and I will share the recording also. This recording also, and
Okay.
they can join. They are welcome.
Perfect. Thank you.
And I'm
Vijay,
also
I'm sorry,
available.
maybe,
Please.
yeah, please.
I am sharing my WhatsApp here. Individuals also, I will be. Yeah, please, you can speak your question. I'm listening.
Yeah, I'm sorry, maybe I missed you talking about yourself, or maybe like, so you are like what? Well, I'd like to know something more about you.
I have been a practicing business analyst for last 25 years. I have been a business
Okay.
analysis trainer, weekend trainer for last 15 years. Microsoft
Okay.
calls me trainer extraordinaire in Visio. I am a technical reviewer on book on MS Visio. And what is your nationality? US, India, or what? Or which other country? If you are from,
Yeah,
if you are about of the Indian, if you have some knowledge about the Indian academic system, I'm a graduate from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee, and a postgraduate from Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, and a hands-on practitioner for last 20 plus years.
okay. So you've been working as a business analyst, or like
Now I'm working more as a consultant to the companies,
consultant to
where
this
I
company.
basically manage their programs. And
Mm-hmm.
Earlier, I used to work as a business analyst when I was working with FANTT data systems and HCL Paro systems. So this is my, if I can take you to my slide. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is my LinkedIn profile also, so you can check my LinkedIn profile.
Okay, got it. We'll do that. Thank you.
So this is my LinkedIn profile. So we can connect on LinkedIn also.
Sure.
Manoj, you have been so quiet. If your mic is not working, doesn't matter. You can write your question.
So we will be having two sessions per week, right? Saturday and
Yes,
Sunday.
Saturday and
The
Sunday,
same time. The same
same
time.
time. Yes, yes. So I have shared my WhatsApp. I'm available to connect individually also. Next week onwards, we start in a formal manner. I will share with you, just ping me hi on WhatsApp. So I'll share with you the syllabus, and any individual questions, I will take it offline. Shall we close the session now, or if there is anything or last in the final call for any questions from anyone?
I don't have any questions. Thank you so much, Vijay. I will connect with you on WhatsApp.
Yeah, so welcome.
Bye.
So friends, I stop here, and I look forward to see you in upcoming Saturday in the session. Thank you.